Shatara Shatashmar Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Śrīla Gurudeva ki jai. Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shatashmar Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shatashmar Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Nitila Pravishta Mahabhagavat Śrīla Goraksharas Bhagat Sai. Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shatashmar Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shatashmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shatashmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Nitila Pravishta Mahabhagavat Śrīla Goraksharas Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nitila Pravishta Śrīla Sachid Ananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Nitila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Patadash Raghunath Shara Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Nam Acharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shiksheta Mandala Gora Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund ki jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya ki jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Om. That's strange. It says that there's nobody here. Let me just check if it's all streaming properly. Destinations. Okay. Oh, it's not live on my own Facebook page. That's strange. Why is it not connecting? Wonder if I should start it over again. Okay, I'm going to try that. Okay, now I'm going to try it again. Sending data. Anyhow, don't want to delay things anymore. So I'll just write something in our WhatsApp group. For some reason, it is not going live on my Facebook page. So, all right. Anyhow, I'll have to fix that later. That's strange that there's nobody here. I guess most people would watch through Facebook. Okay, give me 1 second. Well, there's nobody here anyways, but I'm just going to write on Facebook. Sorry about this, guys. Just, well, I'm saying, guys, there's nobody here. Okay. Those who are watching later on. Oops. You can watch videos. There. All right. let's start. Oh, there's somebody is there. Who's that? Oh, Rohit Radhakrishnanji, Dandavat Pranam. All right, now there's somebody here. Now I can start. Okay, then we'll be recording. Okay. Kṛṣṇa teaches through his pastimes. So this is chapter 12 in Pinnacle of Devotion. The following discourse was given in Singapore. Oops, he's missing. The following discourse was given in Singapore, March 7, 1997, just after Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj left Australia en route to Navadvīpa. The story of Vitrasura. In Srimad Bhagavatam's Canto 6, I'd say 6th canto. 6th canto, that sounds better, doesn't it? In Srimad Bhagavatam's 6th canto, Śrīla Shukadeva Goswami related to Prahlad Maharaj the history of Vitrasura. He described how Vitrasura, although in the body of a demon, was able to offer such elevated prayers to Kṛṣṇa that even Indra was astonished. Ajata paksha iva mataram kaga stanyam yata vatsarakshu. Hey, 1 second. Okay. Stanyam yata vatsara. I think there's a word missing. Kshurarta priyam priyeva yushitam vishano mano ravindaksha didrikshate tvam. Okay. O lotus-eyed Lord, as baby birds that have not yet developed their wings always look for their mother to return and feed them. One second, let me share my screen again. Dandavat. Okay. O lotus-eyed Lord, as baby birds that have not yet developed their wings always look to their mother to return and feed them. As small calves tied with ropes await anxiously of milking when they'll be allowed to drink the milk of their mothers. Or as a morose wife whose husband is far away from home always longs for him to return so that she can satisfy him in all respects. I always yearn for the opportunity to render direct service unto you. Engaged in battle with Indra, Vitrasura asked him, "Why have you not yet killed me? Take your thunderbolt and use it. Hurry up, hurry up." Indra hesitated, thinking, "How can I kill him? Vitrasura is such an elevated devotee." Vitrasura persistently requested, "In this body of a demon I cannot serve my Lord Kṛṣṇa, so it is better that you kill me." Indra had previously attacked him, but Vitrasura was so powerful that he caught Indra's club and used it to strike the head of Indra's elephant, Airavat. Airavat then fell to the ground with Indra on his back. Soon after that, being again attacked by Vitrasura, Indra could not keep his thunderbolt from falling from his hands. Vitrasura then said, "Pashyamam nirjitam shatru vriknayud." I don't know about this, I have to see that. Okay. Vriknayuda bhujam ride ghatamanam yata shakti tava prana jihirshaya. Srimad Bhagavatam 6:12-16. O my enemy, just look at me. I have already been defeated, for my weapon and arm have been cut to pieces. You have already overwhelmed me, but nonetheless, with a desire to kill you, I am trying my best to fight. I am not at all morose, even under such adverse conditions. Therefore, you should give up your moroseness and continue fighting." "Why are you not killing me?" Vitrasura asked Indra. "Pick up your thunderbolt again, take your seat on Airavat, and try to kill me." Detached from his body even during the battle, Vritrasura prayed to Kṛṣṇa. "Oh Kṛṣṇa, I want to ask you for something." Kṛṣṇa appeared in Vitrasura's heart and said, "Yes, I want to offer you a benediction." Vitrasura said, "I am not praying that you fulfill my material desires. I only want that my tongue be always engaged in chanting your names, my mind always absorbed in meditation on you, and my body always be engaged in your service. This is a very exalted prayer. Ahang hare tava padaika mula dasanu daso bhavitasmi bhuya manasmare tasu pater gunangste grinita vakarma korotu kaya. O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, will I again be able to be a servant of your eternal servants who find shelter only at your lotus feet? O Lord of my life, may I again become their servant, so that my mind may always think of your transcendental attributes, my words always glorify those attributes, and my body always engage in loving service of your Lordship. May I again become their servant so that my mind... Sorry, I read that wrong. Anyways, we only have 3 possessions, our body, mind, and tongue. It is only by the body, mind, and tongue that we can perform activities. Like Vitrasura, our only desire should be to use the tongue to sing about Krishna's name, fame, glories, and pastimes. Oh, never mind. The tongue has no backbone. Still, although it is spineless, it is so powerful that it can perform greatly destructive activities. The battle of Mahabharat was fought only because Draupadi did not control her tongue. She told Duryodhana, "Your father Dhritarashtra is blind, so you are also like a blind man." Because she insulted him in the assembly of great kings, Duryodhana wanted to take revenge by taking off her sari in public. As a result of this evil deed by Duryodhana, the battle was fought. One second, just checking everything's okay. Dandavat pranams, Madhavi Didi. It's interesting, today is only you and Rohit Radhakrishnan ji. Usually there's like 9 people here. I wonder, let's see, did it go live here? No, it's still not going live on my page. Anyways, that's so interesting. Okay. Do you know why the battle was fought between the armies of Ram and Ravan? It was because Sita had not controlled her tongue and had thus abused Lakshman. When the demon Maricha came in the form of a golden deer, Sita begged Ram, "O beloved Ram, please bring me this deer, either dead or alive." As Ram was leaving to fulfill her request, he told Lakshman to protect her in every possible way. Then, after Ram pursued and shot the deer, Maricha cried out in the voice of Ram, "Lakshman, Lakshman, come and help me." Sita told Lakshman, "Ram must be in danger. Why are you not going?" Lakshman replied, "I know that it is impossible for Ram to be in danger. He is the Lord of Lords. Do not be worried about him." But Sita repeatedly insisted, "Please go at once." Lakshman warned her, "If I leave, demons will come and kidnap you." Sita replied, "Oh, I know why you are hesitating. You are the agent of Bharat. Concealing your real purpose, you have come with us, hoping to somehow or other kill Ram and become my husband. But it will never happen. I will die before I accept anyone other than Ram as my husband." Lakshman began to weep. "I accept you as my mother. Please do not speak such harsh words. I will go, but I will not be responsible for whatever happens to you." He took his bow, drew a circle on the ground, and told her, "Do not cross the line of this circle." If Lakshman had remained with Sita, she would have never been kidnapped, and thus no battle would have been fought. The battle was fought only because of her sharp words. Of course, Sita and Draupadi are transcendental personalities, and their speech and actions are engaged only for the Lord's pleasure. By these examples, they are teaching us conditioned souls that we must always control our tongue. In the beginning of devotional life, we often do not control our tongues, and this lack of control results in so many nonsense activities. We may disobey our gurus, or even abuse them and other Vaishnavas. So many varieties of offenses are committed due to the uncontrolled tongue. Therefore, to control the tongue is a devotee's first duty. How can we control the tongue? It is possible only by constantly chanting the Lord's holy name, at which time the tongue will have no time for chattering. It is in our spiritual self-interest that we avoid laughing frivolously and joking about others, for by such joking we may commit offenses. We can be grave by always chanting and remembering Kṛṣṇa. Unfortunately, we do not follow this, and thus suffer the consequences. By always remembering Kṛṣṇa and Kṛṣṇa's pastimes, as well as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu and their pastimes, there will be no time for the minds to wander. The mind will become so pure that the tongue and other senses will automatically be controlled, and we will no longer commit offenses. The mind is controlled only by always remembering Kṛṣṇa and Kṛṣṇa's pastimes, and always praying to Shri Sarup Damodar, Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatan Goswami, Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, Shri Nityananda Prabhu, and Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Control of the body is possible if we always engage it in the service of Shri Kṛṣṇa, Shri Guru, and the Vaishnavas. Otherwise, we will quarrel with them. I once heard of a disciple in India who took an axe and threw it at his guru as he slept. That particular night, the guru was sleeping in the opposite direction, with his feet where he usually placed his head. The axe thus landed between his legs, and he was saved. Because the guru was a pure devotee, Nityananda Prabhu and Lord Nrsingadev saved him. We must try to engage our body in such a way that it always serves the Vaishnavas. By cooking, going to holy tirthas, cleaning the temple or the abode or bhajan kutir of Gurudev. By cooking, going to holy places, cleaning the temple of or the abode or bhajan kutir of Gurudev and the Vaishnavas, and by offering obeisances with 8 parts of the body, Ashtanga Pranam. We must always engage our body in that way to serve the Vaishnavas. By always engaging the body in this way, it will be automatically controlled. Vitrasura therefore prayed to Shri Kṛṣṇa, Ajata Paksha iva mataram kagar stanyam yata vatsarata kshurartha priyam priyeva vishitam visharna manoravindaksha didrikshate tvam. Ajata Paksha iva mataram kagar means, like a baby bird who cannot yet fly. O lotus-eyed Lord, Vitrasura prayed, as baby birds that have not yet developed their wings always look for their mother to return and feed them. The baby bird's father and mother have gone to collect food, and he chirps as he waits and wonders, "When will my mother come? When will my mother come?" Why does he want his mother? First, the mother will bring him something to eat, and second, he is afraid that crows and owls may seize him and eat him. When the mother comes, his fear disappears, and he also gets something to eat. Initially, Vitrasura prayed like this, but being unsatisfied, he corrected himself. In the next part of his prayer, he said, "As small calves tied with ropes anxiously wait for the time of milking so that they will be allowed to drink the milk of their mothers." In the morning, a mother cow goes to the pastures to graze. Upon her return, because her calf is tied up, he cannot go to her and take her milk. So he is mooing, and although bound, he is jumping about as calves do. The master of the cow then comes and unties the calf, who jumps up and runs to his mother, taking her udder in his mouth and drinking. The reason he had mooed so loudly was that he wanted his mother to come and give him milk. What is the difference between the prayer of the bird and the prayer of the calf? The bird wants an insect or worm, which is outside the body of the mother, and he also wants his fear to go away. In the second instance, the calf is calling, "Mother, mother," and the cow comes and gives her own milk. But the calf only wants the milk. The defect here is that the calf gives up his mother when his stomach is full. He then playfully wanders here and there, and when he is again hungry, he returns to his mother. Vritrasura felt his prayer was still lacking. The hungry calf wept only for milk, and when he was satisfied, he had no further need for his mother. Is this okay? Anyways, and when satisfied, he had no further need. I don't know. I'm just gonna. Might be okay, but I'll just. Vritrasura knew this, and he did not want to be like that. He therefore offered a third prayer, Priyam Priyeva Yushitam Visharna. As a morose wife whose husband is away from home always longs for him to return so that she can swiftly satisfy him in all respects. In the absence of her beloved husband, a wife always thinks of him and talks to her sons about him. She glorifies her husband's qualities to them, expresses her concern for his welfare, and describes how she will serve him upon his return by cooking for him and offering him fresh, sweet water. There are three aspects in the beloved wife's service to her husband: uttering his name, always meditating on him, and serving him with her body. This third prayer is complete in devotion. In it, the word husband has actually not been used, but rather beloved. This relationship is even more than that of husband and wife. It is not one of duty, but rather one of love. Although Vritrasura played the role of a demon, he expressed his great desire to love Kṛṣṇa. Just as a chaste lady who chants and remembers her husband's glories without any reason or desire for personal gain, so the pure devotee serves Kṛṣṇa. This is a very important teaching of Srimad Bhagavatam. This history and that of Sri Prahlad Maharaj are very significant. Hearing about them, try to imbibe their qualities. Krishna's birth and baby pastimes. After reading the first 9 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, we come to the 10th canto. We come to the 10th canto descriptions of Krishna's pastimes. This 10th canto begins by explaining how Sri Kṛṣṇa entered the wombs of both Yashoda Devi and Devaki. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. It's Bhagavad Gita 4:7. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. Okay. When demoniac people are engaged in simply fulfilling worldly desires, eat, drink, and be merry, at that time Kṛṣṇa or his incarnations come to establish devotion to himself. At the end of Dwapara Yuga, Duryodhana, Kṛṣṇa, Jarasandha, and Dantavakra were present on the earth. Although they dressed as Kshatriyas, they were actually demons, always engaged in stealing others' wives, murdering, and fighting battles. Thus, in order to protect the world from such demons, Sri Kṛṣṇa advented. Secondly, Kashyapa Muni and Aditi performed great austerities to have God as their son, and Drona and Dhara also performed austerities to have God as their beautiful and special son so that they could love and serve him. Kashyapa and Aditi also wanted God as their son, but not with a specific desire to serve him and with love and affection. For this reason, although Kashyapa and Aditi became Vasudeva and Devaki, and although Kṛṣṇa came as Devaki's son, she and Vasudeva could not serve him. On the very day Sri Kṛṣṇa appeared to Vasudeva, Vasudeva had to take him from the prison of Kṛṣṇa to Gokul. In Gokul, Kṛṣṇa had taken birth from the womb of Yashoda. So when Vasudeva reached Yashoda's bedside and put Kṛṣṇa on her bed, Vasudeva Kṛṣṇa merged into Yashoda Kṛṣṇa. Years later, on the order of Kṛṣṇa, Krishna and Baladev traveled with Akrura from Nandagaon to Mathura. When they arrived at the Vrindavan Mathura border near the Yamuna at Brahmahrad, Krishna and Balaram sat on the chariot while Akrura went to take bath in the river. At that time, Krishna, the son of Yashoda, and Balaram, the son of Rohini, got down from their chariot and returned to Braj. And Krishna and Balaram, who were the sons of Vasudeva, got up on the chariot. Akrura then returned to the chariot, and all three journeyed to Mathura. Rajendranandan Shyam Sundar, the son of Yashoda, and Baladev, the son of Rohini, do not go an inch out of Vrindavan. Krishna is always fully the son of Yashoda, and he is only partially the son of Vasudeva. This is because when he was in the womb of Devaki, he was in his manifestation of Narayan, and Narayan is only a part of Krishna. Jayati Jana Nivaso Devaki Janmavado, Srimad Bhagavatam 10:90-48. All glories to Sri Krishna, who resides in the heart of all living entities, and who is referred to as the son of Devaki, although he is factually the son of Yashoda. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it proclaims not only to the residents of Mathura that Sri Krishna is the son of Yashoda Maya and Nanda Baba. It's not only to the residents of Mathura, but also this is proclaimed to Akrura, Uddhava, Narad, and the entire world. Although they may see Krishna as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva, Yashoda Maya will say, "He is my son." All gopis, all cowherd boys, and all Vrajavasis will say that Krishna is the son of Yashoda Maya. Which source is the most authoritative, the Mathuravasis or the gopis? The gopis, headed by Srimati Radhika, are superior to Uddhav, Narad, Akrura, and the residents of Mathura. The words of Srimati Radhika and the Vrajavasis are true to the highest extent. Those who say that Krishna is the son of Vasudeva and Devaki are telling only a partial truth, not the complete truth. When Sri Krishna took birth at midnight in Gokul, he simultaneously appeared from the womb of Devaki in Mathura. It is not stated in Srimad Bhagavatam that he took birth from the womb of Devaki. Rather, he appeared, not as a baby, but as a 16-year-old youth with long hair, a Kostubamani necklace, golden ornaments, and a crown. In Gokul, on the other hand, he had no long hair, no crown, and no ornaments. He was an ordinary little baby crying, "Wah, wah, wah." Krishna's birth pastime took place in Gokul, not in Kṛṣṇa's prison in Mathura. 15 minutes after the birth of Krishna, a baby girl was also born from the womb of Yashoda, and thus two babies were born from Yashoda, Krishna and his younger sister Yogamaya. Vasudeva put Krishna down on Yashoda Maya's bed, and he put the form of Krishna in Vasudeva's arms. There should be a footnote. So Vasudeva put Krishna down on Yashoda Maya's bed. The form of Krishna in Vasudeva's arms merged with Krishna lying on the bed of Yashoda Maya. And he took that baby girl back to Mathura. Srimad Bhagavatam describes Kṛṣṇa grabbing the feet of Yogamaya, who was in the form of a newborn baby, in order to dash her on a stone and kill her. She immediately took her form as Mahamaya, Durga Devi, flew into the sky, and kicked Kṛṣṇa on the head. Kṛṣṇa was astonished to see that this was his worshipable deity, Durga Devi, the shadow manifestation of Yogamaya. Durga told him, "He who will kill you has already taken birth in another place." Shukadeva Goswami explains in this connection that the younger sister of Krishna, Yogamaya, then departed from Kṛṣṇa's palace. There's a footnote here. I'm not going to read it. Oh, actually, this is a good footnote. Let's just read this. Kṛṣṇa tried to dash the child downward against a piece of stone, but since she was Yogamaya, the younger sister of Lord Vishnu, she slipped upward and assumed the form of goddess Durga. The word Anuja, meaning the younger sister, is significant. When Vishnu or Kṛṣṇa took birth from Devaki, he must have simultaneously taken birth from Yashoda also. Otherwise, how could Yogamaya have been Anuja, the Lord's younger sister? That was Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada himself is saying that Kṛṣṇa took birth from the womb of Yashoda Maya. Therefore, Gokul Kṛṣṇa is the elder brother of Yogamaya. When Sri Kṛṣṇa appeared from Devaki's womb, Vasudeva wanted to give some donation in charity to the Brahmins, but because he was in prison, he could not. Only in his mind, therefore, could he give away his 10,000 very beautiful cows and calves, decorated with gold and silver. On the same day, everyone in Braj saw that Yashoda had given birth to a very beautiful son, who was the color of a fresh monsoon cloud, and they became very happy. News of his birth traveled like wildfire, and all the Vrajvasis, well decorated and carrying ghee, rabri, curd, milk, and butter, went to visit Yashoda Maya and her newborn child. Put fresh butter because makhan is not the same as what people in the West consider butter. All the gopis, the wives of the gopas, all the gopis, the wives of the gopas, they gathered in the courtyard of Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya and sang this kirtan. Nanda ke ananda bhayo jai kanaya lal ki. When Kṛṣṇa was born, Nanda Baba became very blissful. Nanda Baba held a very big festival, at which time he gave in charity many chariots and horses, millions of cows decorated with gold and silver, as well as other valuables. He gave away everything in his house, and everything he gave was replenished. Mixing yogurt and turmeric together, the Vrajvasis made paste and rubbed it on the cows, calves, and people, so much so that the house of Yashoda became muddy with that paste. Everyone was happy because Nanda Baba and Yashoda, although mature in age, had become the parents of such a beautiful son. Every day there was a variety of festivals at Nanda Baba's house. On the third day, Nanda Baba went to Mathura to pay taxes to Kṛṣṇa. Before Kṛṣṇa's birth, having had no son, Nanda was like a person in the renounced order, absorbed in thought of Bhagavan Narayan. However, as soon as he had a child, Kṛṣṇa himself, he gave up his absorption in Bhagavan and became worried about how he would support his boy. He contemplated, now I need wealth, many cows, and a palatial building. If Kṛṣṇa is our son, we can rightfully possess wealth, opulence, chariots, many calves and cows, gardens, etc. Otherwise, like one in the renounced order, our needs are best served by always being engaged in serving and remembering Sri Kṛṣṇa and performing kirtan. Before Kṛṣṇa's birth, when Nanda Baba was detached, he sometimes went to pay taxes and sometimes did not. He felt he had nothing to lose or gain by paying or not paying. But now he was worried that if he did not pay taxes, Kṛṣṇa would retaliate and some harm might come to his son. On the same day that Yogamaya manifested to Kṛṣṇa as Durga, Kṛṣṇa called his demoniac associates and told them, "My worshipable deity, Durga Devi, told me that Vishnu has taken birth somewhere outside of Mathura. I want all of you to find that baby and kill him." The demons thus traveled here and there to fulfill Kṛṣṇa's order. Putana, one of the strongest demons, was like a sister to Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa personally requested her, "Oh sister, I am fearful because a person who is destined to kill me has now taken birth and is present on earth as a little baby boy. Can you save me?" "Oh, why not?" she replied, and taking the form of a very beautiful gopi, she flew to Gokul. Putana came to Bhoma Vrindavan, the Vrindavan of this world, which, like the Vrindavan in the Lord's spiritual realm, has nothing to do with Maya. Bhoma Vrindavan is Sat Chit Ananda, full of eternal, unfathomed bliss and transcendental knowledge, as are Yashoda Bhavan and other pastime places. So how is it that this demoness could go there? Demons can Demons can go neither to Goloka Vrindavan or to Krishna's abode in this world. So how did it happen that Putana was able to go to Satchit Ananda Bhoma Vrindavan, to the courtyard of Yashoda Maya? In her past birth, Putana was the daughter of Bali Maharaj. When the Lord's incarnation, Lord Vamandev, came to the palace of Bali Maharaj, his exquisite beauty was captivating. Because this daughter had no son, she began to consider, if a son like this would come into my womb, I would have so much affection for him. Vamandev knew her mind and agreed. He contemplated, yes, I will come as a baby. Later, when this lady saw how Vamandev was harshly treating her father, threatening him by taking big steps and binding him in a snake rope, she became furious. Oh, if you were my son, I would poison you, she cried. Vamandev also accepted this, and within his mind he said, yes, you may do so. You will come within my touch, and then I will purify you and engage you always in my service. There is also another reason why Putana was able to enter Vrindavan. It was actually Yogamaya who called her there. By Yogamaya's arrangements, the pastimes of Sri Kṛṣṇa are ever fresh. Usually, if a man and his beloved are always together, their affection for each other wanes. But this is not the case in Krishna's pastimes. Still, in that regard, when Yogamaya arranged for Putana to take Sri Kṛṣṇa in her arms and put poison in his mouth, this frightened the Vrajvasis, and their love for Krishna was thus further refreshed. Krishna sucked out not only Putana's poison, but also her soul, and she was thus liberated. She had tried with all of her strength, which was equal to that of 10,000 elephants, to push Sri Kṛṣṇa off her breasts, but she could not do so. Flying into the sky, she cried, "Oh, save me! My dear brother Kṛṣṇa, save me! Save me!" However, because Krishna has declared in the scriptures that he will never give up those who come to him, he would not let her go, and he would not allow her to leave Vraj. Her dead body fell down in Kṛṣṇa's garden and smashed it, and thus she could not go to Mathura and tell Kṛṣṇa what had happened. Kṛṣṇa was worried that his sister had not yet returned, and in fact, she never returned. After this incident, Sri Kṛṣṇa performed many other pastimes and killed many demons, such as Trinavarta and Shakatasura. As a baby, he simply played with his feet as babies do, sometimes sucking his thumb, sometimes sucking his toes, and sometimes playing on a bed. When Shakatasura, the cart demon, came to kill Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa playfully upturned the cart in which he was hiding and killed him. Sometimes Kṛṣṇa would put his hands in the mouths of dogs, and sometimes he would wrestle with the horns of large bulls and climb on the bulls' backs. Damodar Lila. At 2.5 years old, beautiful Sri Kṛṣṇa would wander here and there naked. While the Vrajvasis were going about their daily activities and well at social functions, Kṛṣṇa would steal butter from various homes with other little boys. The Vrajvasis would therefore complain to Yashoda Maya that Kṛṣṇa and his friends were very naughty. Why did they complain to Yashoda? The activities of Kṛṣṇa were so pleasing that all the gopis wanted him to come daily to their houses and play there, and that way they could relish his pastimes. Seeing that Yashoda was not able to enjoy these particular boyhood sports, they wanted to give her the opportunity to experience them. To experience them, not experiencing them, right? They wanted to give her the opportunity to experience them by complaining to her about them. "Oh, Yashoda," they would say in effect, "your boy is so beautiful. How sweet are his movements, and how sweetly he plays. You should try to see all this." When Sri Kṛṣṇa would deny their accusations, the gopis would ask questions like, "Oh, why does your mouth have yogurt and butter around it? Why?" Kṛṣṇa would then answer, "A monkey came and wanted to take butter from my hands, but I would not give it to him. I was actually guarding your house, so I tried to drive the monkey away, but he was so naughty that he smeared my face with butter." But why are your hands full of butter? "Oh, you don't know? My mother has given me a very valuable gold and pearl bracelet, which became so warm that I felt a burning sensation. So I put my hands in the butter to cool it down. I have not taken your butter. Once, a gopi who was hiding in her room saw Sri Kṛṣṇa stealing her butter. While his hands were still in the pot, she caught hold of him and said, "What are you doing? Are you stealing butter?" "No, mother." "Then what are you doing?" "Oh, my calf has fallen into this pot. I am searching for him." "Oh, where is your calf?" "A calf cannot fall in this little vessel." "I will show you," Kṛṣṇa said, and then he pulled out his hands, which were now holding a marble calf. My father has given me this toy. I was playing with him, and he fell down in the butter pot." Sometimes the gopis complained to Yashodamaya, "Kṛṣṇa is so naughty. By his stealing butter and yogurt from our houses and doing so many other mischievous acts, he will surely have a questionable character in the future. You should try to control him." One morning, while Kṛṣṇa was sleeping, Yashodamaya was churning curd. She was very beautiful. Otherwise, how could Kṛṣṇa have been so beautiful? When Kṛṣṇa woke up, he thought, "Where is my mother?" and he began to cry. While she turned, Yashodamaya was absorbed in chanting, "Govinda Damodara Madhaveti." Her voice was very sweet, and the sound of her rhythmic churning was like the playing of a mridanga. Dik, diktan, diktan. It should be diktan, not dikta. It was as though that sound was singing. Dik, fie on those who do not serve Kṛṣṇa. Fie on them, fie on them. Yashodamaya was so absorbed in churning that although Kṛṣṇa was crying, "Mother, mother," she could not hear him. Crying more and more loudly, he therefore climbed out of bed. As he rubbed his eyes, the kajal on them ran down his cheeks, and it was as though the Ganga and Yamuna rivers was falling from his eyes. Quite naked and with a peacock feather in his hair, he ran to Yashodamaya, but she could not hear him. Finally, grabbing her churning rod with one hand and her veil with the other, he stopped her churning. "Who is this?" she thought. "Oh, Kanhaya." Taking him on her lap, she stroked and caressed him with much love and affection. Tears poured from her eyes, and milk flowed from her breasts. Kṛṣṇa was hungry, and he sucked with much intensity. While feeding Kṛṣṇa, Yashodamaya noticed that the milk on the stove was boiling over. She thought, "This milk wants to serve Kṛṣṇa, but Kṛṣṇa is taking my milk." It is important to understand that Kshiradakshai Vishnu's ocean of milk has come from the breasts of Yashodamaya. Wherever there is milk, it has ultimately come from her, and her milk ocean is endless and deep. The entire universe is situated in Kṛṣṇa's mouth, and all the worlds are situated in his stomach. Even if there were millions of oceans of milk, and if he were to drink them, they would all finally become empty. On the other hand, Yashodamaya's milk supply was so endless that hundreds or millions of Kṛṣṇas could never exhaust that supply. My God, that's a very, yeah. In the meantime, the milk on the stove was thinking that it had no chance to serve Kṛṣṇa. "What is the use of my life?" the milk considered. "I should give it up." Śrīla Thakur also says in his prayers, "Without serving Kṛṣṇa, I am so unfortunate, and in this life I have not served him. I am always absorbed in useless worldly activities to collect possessions, but I am not happy. Although my material goals are like poison, I give up the nectar of bhakti, Kṛṣṇa Prem, in pursuance of them. I should die. Why do I remain alive? Why am I maintaining my life?" We should also think like this. If I am not serving and not doing proper sadhan bhajan, then what is the use of this life? The human body is endowed with a greater capacity than animals. The human body is endowed with a greater capacity than animals for taking to spiritual life. Although I have a higher intelligence and an opportunity for good association, I neglect it and take poison. So why should I not die? Lord Brahma has made my heart harder than stone, and it is only for this reason that I do not die. Before going to bed each night, we should consider our spiritual development. Has my faith increased today? Has my knowledge and service to Sri Kṛṣṇa increased? We do this in business when we close our shop or office in the evening. We calculate our gains and losses. Similarly, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada used to say that every night we should calculate whether our bhakti has increased, or whether it is the same, or whether it has decreased. He said we should do this daily. If our association is good, then our bhakti will increase, and if it is not, it will decrease. If we have taken a satsanga, worldly association, then we will have a taste for sense enjoyment. If we have taken satsanga, good association, on the same level as ourselves, and vishayi sangha, association of sense enjoyers as well, then our service will be external, and we will also have some taste for material enjoyment. Suppose we took initiation 12 years ago, or 24 years ago. Now it is essential for us to calculate the growth of our service to Kṛṣṇa. Is our sadhana and bhajan the same as when we first joined? Has it diminished or has it developed? If we sincerely consider such points, we can progress quite easily. If we have not made such progress from the time of joining the mission, if we have a taste for sense enjoyment, and if we are simultaneously taking a satsanga along with satsanga, this is the result of some offense. We can know then that our bhakti is decreasing. When we first came to our Gurudev, we were so enthusiastic. Similarly, with good association, we will maintain our enthusiasm. If we do not have enthusiasm, it is due to bad association, offenses, and anarthas. So it is due to bad association, offenses, and anarthas. And an attempt must be made to correct the situation. A boy cannot remain in the same class for 20 years. If he does so, it means he is not really in the class. He is not studying, but rather playing soccer or cricket or other games and taking bad association. He has not actually been in school. We need to calculate our progress, otherwise we cannot improve. While the milk was thinking in its humble way, Yashoda Maya considered, I must try to save this milk. She immediately started to put Kṛṣṇa down, but he tightly caught hold of her with his hands and feet, like monkeys do, and he firmly held onto her breast with his mouth. He cried out, I'm still hungry, where are you going? He held onto her with all his strength, but Yashoda Maya gave him a loving slap, and removing him from her lap, she sat him down beside her. Putana had the strength of 10,000 elephants, and she used all of that strength to try to remove Kṛṣṇa from her breast, but she could not do so. In a moment, however, with one push, Yashoda made him sit down. Although he is the all-powerful Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the presence of Yashoda's love and affection, he became controlled. Though angry, he sat there by her side. Why did Yashoda push Kṛṣṇa away? Did she love the milk more than Kṛṣṇa? Was she acting against bhakti? No, she did not love the milk more than she loved Kṛṣṇa. In fact, this Damodar Lila actually illustrates the meaning of bhakti. Śrīla Rupa Goswami has said, Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karma dhyanavratam anukulyena Kṛṣṇānu shilanam bhaktiruttama. It's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.11. Try to remember this verse. Bhakti means activity performed for the pleasure of Sri Kṛṣṇa. But here we see that Kṛṣṇa has become angry and later broke the yogurt vessel. Were Yashoda Maya's actions bhakti or not? Yes, they were. Why? Because she was thinking, my milk is not sufficient to serve Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa also likes milk in the form of butter, yogurt, curd, and so on. She acted for the well-being of Kṛṣṇa, and whether he cried or not did not affect her. Is that okay English? I don't even know. Anyways, oops. Because her action was for Kṛṣṇa's welfare, it was bhakti. The two wrestlers of Kṛṣṇa, Chanura and Mushtika, were giving pleasure to Sri Kṛṣṇa in the mellow taste of chivalry. In the mellow taste? In the mellow of chivalry. Maybe no need the word of taste. Sorry, so they were giving pleasure. So Chanura and Mushtika were giving pleasure to Kṛṣṇa in the mellow of chivalry, because Kṛṣṇa loves to wrestle. But their wrestling with him was not bhakti. Why not? Because they wanted to kill him. Their mood and intention were unfavorable, not favorable. They were unfavorable, not favorable for his pleasure. Yet, even when Yashoda Maya pulled Krishna's ears, when she pulled Krishna's ears to chastise him, her action was bhakti. Kṛṣṇa may have cried and wept, but her action was bhakti because it was done with a motive to please him. Sprinkling water on the milk until the boiling subsided, Yashoda Maya thought, "Oh, I will give you to Kṛṣṇa. I will engage you in Krishna's service." Gurudeva is like Yashoda Maya, giving all devotees help and a chance to serve Kṛṣṇa. He even gives up his own service for this. What does this mean? Guru is always remembering Krishna's pastimes and serving them. Being an Uttam Bhagavat, he resides in Goloka Vrindavan. He gives this up and comes down to the stage of Madhyam Adhikari to help the devotees. Comes to the stage of Madhyam Adhikara. Because Madhyam Adhikari is one who is... Anyways, we have to think of a solution for this, because that's not proper English. I mean, that's not proper. So he comes down to the stage of Madhyam Adhikar to help his devotees, to help the devotees. What's the footnote here? Some devotees are Kanishta, and some are Madhyam. Kanishta? Is it a long A at the end? I have to look that up. Yeah. And some are Madhyam. Generally, they are Kanishta. I have to look that up. Guru comes down to tell them, "You should not do this. You should do this." And he sings the Kirtans, Samsaradava Nalaliga Loka, Emona Durmati, and Amar Jivan Kirtans. Because he is always giving his mercy, Gurudeva is like a mother. Being angry at Yashoda Maya, Kṛṣṇa took a rolling pin and cracked a hole at the bottom of the butter pot. Why the bottom? He first tried to tip it over, but he could not do so because he was a little boy. He was able to lift Govardhan upon his finger, but he could not shake that pot. He tried to make a hole on the upper side, but the pot was too thick there. Then, aware that the bottom of the pot was thinner, he made a hole at the bottom so that all the butter would fall out. He then distributed that butter to the monkeys. When Yashoda Maya understood that Kṛṣṇa had stolen the butter and was distributing it, she tried to catch a hold of him. Great karmis, jnanis, and yogis cannot touch the lotus feet of Kṛṣṇa by the power of their mind. Jarasandha and Kalyavan, they could neither follow nor catch him. Even the four Kumar brothers, Sanak, Sanandan, Sanatan, and Sanat Kumar, cannot touch Kṛṣṇa by the power of their minds. But Yashoda, a gopi, and a little heavyset, ran faster than Kṛṣṇa. Then, after catching him, she said, "I will teach you a lesson." "No, no, mother, don't do so, don't do so." And Kṛṣṇa began to weep. "Then why did you break the pot?" "I have never broken the pot." "Then who broke it?" "You yourself." "How?" "You were running so fast that your ankle bells hit the bottom of the pot and it broke. You could not see this because you were in a hurry, but I saw." "Oh, you are a very big liar and a very naughty thief." This should be a footnote. And she word chor, which is thief in the Sanskrit language, and it is also the name of Yashoda's ancestor. "Mother, I am not a thief. In my dynasty, the dynasty of Nanda Baba, there were never any thieves, although there may be many thieves, chors, in your dynasty." Yashoda Maya began to tie Krishna's waist with some rope, but she could not wrap the rope around him, not even once. She tied another rope to the first rope, and then another, until the rope was more than 1 mile long. But still, it was always the width of 2 fingers too short to go around him, even one time. The gopis began to laugh and clap. Yashoda Maya was very embarrassed because even though Krishna was born from her womb, she could not bind him. Her face reddened and tears danced in her eyes. Tears danced in her eyes? Interesting. At the same time, she prayed to Lord Narayan. "Oh Narayan, please save me from disgrace. Why should I not be able to tie my child? Please help me." Aware that his mother was praying like this, Krishna finally allowed her to bind him. Why was Yashoda Maya not able to bind him at first? What is the significance of the 2 fingers? One finger represents Yashoda's own effort, and this means that Krishna cannot be controlled by our efforts in sadhana bhajan alone. We cannot even see him, what to speak of control him. The second finger represents Krishna's mercy. Krishna's mercy is everywhere, but the correct process is required to receive it. These are the 2 means of success. 1, Krishna's mercy, and 2, our sadhana bhajan. An example is given of the cat and the monkey. Kittens need only to weep, meow, meow, and their mothers will come, take them in their mouths, and carry them here and there. The baby monkey, on the other hand, does all the work, while the mother does nothing. If the mother wants to go somewhere, she simply looks at her child, who will come running and tightly catch hold of her. She will then jump from one tree to another, or from one house to another, and she will not hold onto the baby. If her baby falls, she will give him up forever, never again taking that child with her. Shri Krishna may not appear to us despite our practice of sadhana bhajan, nor will he appear if we are not doing any sadhana, despite the availability of his mercy. Both are needed, our hard endeavor and Krishna's mercy. If Krishna's mercy is there, yet we are not doing proper sadhana and bhajan, we will not be successful. If both are there, only then can we see Krishna. If we want to weep for Guru's mercy, the Uttam Adhikari's mercy, and for Krishna's mercy, we want to weep for Guru's mercy, the Uttam Adhikari's mercy, and for Krishna's mercy, for by doing so, we show that we are trying our best to receive it. If we follow these 2 methods properly and sincerely, we will receive their mercy and we will be able to control Krishna as Yashoda Maya did. Shri Krishna thought, if Yashoda Maya binds me, then I can't go out and play with my friends. Sridham, Sudam, Vasudam, Stok, Krishna, Lavanga, and Arjuna are all waiting for me. All the cows were also waiting for Krishna, thinking, when will Krishna come? Only he can take our milk, no one else. The calves were present, but the cows would not give them their milk. Pushing their calves away, they waited for Krishna to come and milk them. With their udders full of milk, they cried, Krishna, Krishna. Krishna thought, how can I let this happen? The cows will not give milk, and if they are not milked, they will die. I must go to them. All the calves will also die if I don't go there. And the gopis like Radhika, Lalita, and Vishaka, then only 2 years old, are waiting for me to play with them. If my mother binds me, I won't be able to play with them all. Immediately, Yogamaya came. Although the rope was growing longer and Krishna's waist was only 12 fingers wide, he could not be bound. Shri Krishna is powerful, full of hundreds and thousands of various potencies, but all of these potencies, Krishna Kripa Shakti, his mercy potency. But of all these potencies of Krishna, Krishna Kripa Shakti, his mercy potency, is the most prominent. Therefore, when he saw that his mother, who had been working so hard to bind him, was about to weep, and when he saw her reddish face and her embarrassment before the elderly gopis who were clapping their hands and laughing, his Kripa Shakti manifested, his heart melted, and Yashoda Maya easily bound him with the soft rope she used for binding her hair. After this, she tied him to a grinding mortar. Shri Krishna was weeping, and his tears, blackened by kajal, eye cosmetic, was running down his cheeks. Rubbing his eyes and taking very long breaths, she looked so beautiful. He was weeping, but so sweetly. His face, his naked body, and his fearful mood were so sweet. Anyone who sees the scene will experience its sweetness. Namamishwaram Sachidananda Rupam Lasat kundalam gokule bhrajamanam Yashoda bhiyo lukala davamanam Param rishtamatyam tatadruta gopya. Satyavrat Muni prays, Oh, may that very form of Kṛṣṇa, with his eyes full of tears and taking long, long breaths, come into my heart. This is Damodar Lila. His movements are so sweet when he looks crookedly at someone. His movements are so sweet. When he looks crookedly at someone, his eyes are so sweet. His pastimes are sweet. His mother is sweet. His gopis are sweet. And his Braj is sweet. Everything about him is so sweet. All right, so that is our reading for today. Tomorrow we will read The Pure Name is Kṛṣṇa. It's a discussion at the Devananda Gaudiya Math in Navadvīpa during Gaur Purnima festival on March 15th, 1997. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki Jai, Nitil Vishnu Vishnupad Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Śrīla Gurudeva ki Jai, Nitil Vishnu Vishnupad Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj ki Jai, Nitil Vishnu Vishnupad Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Śrīla Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupad Rashita Rashita Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupad Rashita Rashita Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitil Pravishtam Maha Bhagavat Shilagokshara Babaji Maharaj ki Jai, Nitil Pravishtam Satchid Ananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai, Nitil Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Rupa Gauriya Guru Varga ki Jai, Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shara Gosai Prabhu ki Jai, Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari, Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki Jai, Nama Chaishta Hairas Thakur ki Jai, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki Jai, Sarva Abhishta Bharati Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund ki Jai, Shri Muna Devi Ganga Devi ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki Jai, Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya ki Jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Gaur. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshvashta Krishna Bhakti Padadevi Satyapataya Namo Namaha. Vancha Kalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhubhyai Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat Pranam to everybody. Rohit Radha Krishnan ji, Madhavi Didi, Raj Bhuvan Yadav, and whoever is there watching on YouTube, I can't see. Maybe it's Rup Manjari Didi or Seshwari Mataji, or I don't know who it is. Dandavat Pranams Prajumna Prabhu. Alright, see you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe.